In today's video we will talk about the AML and financial crime trends and changes for 2020, 2021 and beyond. So let's get right into today's video. Hi and welcome to Crime Agent, the YouTube channel talking about financial crime prevention issues and anti-money laundering. I'm Marco Beranzoni and this is my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet to Crime Agent, please hit the subscribe button below and press the bell so you can get notified once new videos are going live on a weekly basis. I suggest you to check the description of this video where I usually put interesting links correlated to the videos that I'm shooting. Also in the description of this video you will find the Patreon link. This is the Crime Agent page where you can support Crime Agent with a small contribution, and in exchange you will receive unique material that are created for our patrons, including a copy of the slides that are in my videos. So let's get into today's content and discuss which are the changes and trends for 2020 and 2021 and also beyond that. I have completed that research recently, and also with my experience in the industry, I wanted to put together some bullet points to update people working in the industry and also those ones interested to find out more about the trends in fin crime and anti-money laundering that are going on this year and in the near future as well. So let's get into the slides and talk a bit more about those trends and changes. The first point that I wanted to highlight is the increase of stolen fabricated IDs. This is the result of the digital transformation that has been going on for years now, and unfortunately, beside the very positive effects of the digital transformation, there are also negative ones, which are the presence of a greater volume for stolen or fabricated IDs. Criminals can easier find access to a copy of your ID, for example, and use it to complete an application with a financial institution. Once they manage to go through the initial stage for establishing a relationship with that financial institution, then criminals will be able to receive some of their products, and you can imagine the volume of fraud, for example, and money laundering that they can complete at that level. So it's important that financial institutions do maintain a high level of security during the onboarding phase, and that KYC and CDD process are completed also using the latest technology that are able to identify better when a documentation provided may be fake or not legitimate. The second point that I wanted to highlight is the shift in the financial products that are used by criminals. We have seen that in the last few years there was a significant attention from the regulators and from the financial institutions to make more mature their policies and the technologies that are used to prevent financial crime activities in retail banking. So this is making the life a little bit more difficult for those criminals, which are adapting very quickly to the changing environment, and they're now shifting their attention to some other areas, some of which are the securities, so shares and bonds, for example, the insurance product and the trade products. So in trade, we already know that in trade-based money laundering, large volume of cash are moved across the globe by criminals completing money laundering activities and pushing up the numbers in financial crime using the trade finance industry. The third point that I've seen as a change in the market is regarding the contextualized detection with artificial intelligence. We now receive big data that can actually help the detection of anti-money laundering activities. Previously, those were mainly related with rule-based detection systems. However, there are now technologies that are allowing financial institutions to complete better reviews of their transactions by combining both the detection using rule-based system and the artificial intelligence with supervised and unsupervised machine learning, that they are in the position to identify anomalies and review more on a granular level when there are suspicious activity taking place on their network. So it's important that financial institutions remain vigilant and embrace the new technologies that are available to combine more traditional systems with the latest technology that are available out there. The fourth change that I want to mention is the speed of transactions. This is related to the new industry in banking that we see with challenger banks and new startups which are allowing the onboarding as well as the transfer of funds in a very quick way. In order for more traditional financial institutions to maintain their range of customers and still provide a good service, they need to keep up with the speed that customers are now expecting. However, greater speed sometimes is not necessarily equal to greater security. So the balance between security and the customer experience is one of the challenges that we are seeing now financial institutions are facing, and they will keep facing going forward in the next years. The fifth point that I want to discuss is the real-time AML transaction monitoring. This subject has been discussed for years now, and there were a number of questions whether there was sufficient staff, for example, to review those alerts from AML transaction monitoring occurring in real time, and if there was sufficient technology in place to do that. There is also a recommendation from the FCA to keep down the silos between fraud and AML transaction monitoring, which is pushing even further the direction for having AML-TM aligned with fraud. So a number of financial institutions have already started this process by having their fraud team sometimes merged with the AML transaction monitoring team. There is a term which is out there, which is FRAML, which stands for fraud and AML, and we are seeing more and more financial institutions keeping low the silos between compliance and fraud, and the ability to complete fraud and AML at the same time. It does require for AML transaction monitoring to be completed in real time. So now let's move to the last point. The last point that I wanted to discuss is the alignment for the standards across countries. In this year, there was the 6th Money Laundering Directive that took place in Europe, where the length for the sentences as well as the range of crimes have been standardized in the EU jurisdiction. So this is giving a good edge to financial institutions and those combating financial crime to make sure criminals are not hiding in another jurisdiction within these territories to find a loophole and circumvent the legislations. So having a standard set of legislations across countries that are all unified is definitely a step forward, and the hope in here is that other countries will follow the same example that was taken with the recent amendment of the Money Laundering Directive. Hopefully we will see more global standards taking place in the near future, where the legislations will be unified to make sure that there is a consistent approach on how criminals are treated and which are the crimes correlated to financial crime to keep under control. So these are my 6 takeaways for the AML and financial crime key changes that are occurring now and I can see taking place in the near future. What do you think? If you want to contribute to the discussion, please write in the comments below if you have anything to comment on those 6 points, or if you have any other ones that you think are really important and that I've missed in my video. I'm looking forward to your comments and to hear your feedback. And with that, I'm at the end of today's video. If you have enjoyed my contents, please share this video with someone else that you think would benefit from this type of content, and remember to subscribe to my channel Fin Crime Agent. Also, I remind you that in the comments of this video you will find some useful links also related to the analysis that I have expressed today in this video, and you will also find a link if you want to support FinCrime Agent on Patreon. That's all for today. I hope this video was useful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.